Welcome to Sneaky Athletic, your favorite sports-adjacent audio forum. I'm Chandler Farmer.
Alec Hensley.
And this week, we have so much sports stuff, comparatively.
Sort of.
For my mind is still in the fact of, like, we don't have sports, but it seemed like we kind of did this weekend. And maybe it's just because we really watched the fights hard, which we're going to recap those. We have our regular segments, beef, lifestyle, tip, what the feed, Google this. Talk about NBA bubble action, and then maybe some Washington R words. Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to get into it. But before we get into all that, got to give a shout out to our boys up there in Northwest Missouri, God's Country, Fertilizer Service Company. They're helping you from the time of planting through harvest, helping you grow that good shit. They got everything you need, all your fertilizer needs. So if you need them, hit them up at 660-686-2402. And as you know, they're keeping God's Country as good as she grows. All right, let's get started.
My heart, my soul, I gave it all. But loving you was never easy.
I know you slightly slept through the fights.
Not the important ones.
Not the important ones, but
It's honestly...
they were still all so good this weekend.
What a fantastic time to nap, though.
And the prelims.
Yeah.
You missed some of the main card, though, right? You missed both the women fights,
Correct.
which the second one was really good.
Which that sucks. But, I like Amanda Nunes, and after that, I'm kind of like, meh.
Yeah, she wasn't. It was
she's
just
the
fighting.
only one that I really follow.
Yeah, but Rose, oh man, now they're all slipping my brain. I hate this because I'm so bad with UFC fighter names. I always forget them. But
Honestly, I think that's one of their biggest flaws.
they have to be so good at branding themselves.
Right.
It's like you have to brand yourself like Conor McGregor's branded himself. Otherwise, I'm not gonna. And then I remember the names of the fighters who are really good or who have fought the fighters who are really good.
Sometimes.
Like,
if you're not very memorable.
I'm going to know who Nate Diaz is forever.
Yeah.
And that started with him fighting Conor, and then obviously he has his own reputation. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to shit on him. Other than that, there were some fucking fantastic preliminary fights with some heavy hitters. The card was good. Max Holloway.
Robbed.
He got robbed to a certain degree. It's the system's fault.
I mean, I
more
get
than it
if you
is.
come at the champ, you gotta really,
You got to beat the champ.
right. It has to be clear and obvious.
It makes sense, but it's also pretty dumb. It's a dumb rule.
There weren't very many people who thought that he should have lost, and I think that's more of the indictment than anything, is the fact that, okay, this system typically works, but whenever everyone thinks that the other person has actually won the fight, then it doesn't.
Yeah. I don't know. I just got to thinking about so many things that I think the scoring of a fight, right, the 10-9, and it having to be right after the round, and they have seconds, maybe a minute max, to put their score in. It's just so flawed. You're having to just pull right off the quick trigger and get a score up there. I know they're trained professionals, but still.
It's also just a confusing system to anyone outside of it. The
Yeah.
UFC lost a lot of fringe
10-9,
fans.
Yeah, because it's expensive. It's fucking expensive to buy a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And especially right now when people aren't really having big gatherings.
Absolutely.
It makes it's a little bit different when you have 20 people over and you're like, all right, everybody throw me a 5 and we'll fucking get the fights. No, it's not like that. But I think there's been some great points made around the UFC community of scoring should be much more transparent, and it shouldn't be after every round. It should be at the end of the fight. You should sit there and you'd be like, all right, I'm not sure exactly at which point, but Max Holloway won that fight. Everybody was sitting there at the end, and they're like, you probably go 2-0 and then 2-2, or you go 2-0. The third round was really, really close, and then 0-2.
Yeah.
Like the first two, Max won. The third was kind of the split, but most people were giving it to Max.
He didn't have
It was
more
just fucked.
significant strikes, though, in the third.
I don't remember the
I
exact
think
stuff.
that is correct, and I think that's what killed him.
You just know it was wrong when he lost the fifth round, and the only judge that gave him a 3-2 said he won the fifth round.
Right.
So that's how you know it's just a broken system, because he got to the end and was like, "Oh shit,
Make off.
he was
play-
supposed to win." Like, you know what I mean? Like he's
yeah,
like
making up with like a pass interference call
exactly,
away. It's the
exactly.
exact same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, he got robbed. Usman, just the most boring fighter of all time.
Yeah, I don't know if I can add anything entertaining to that.
He looked like he was like playing Cotton Eye Joe in his head. Like, someone come Cotton Eye Joe. He's just fucking stomping.
Yeah, I mean the lean and pray, or the weigh and
Yeah,
pray.
yeah,
You
he
just put
just-
your weight on him and pray. Like, he doesn't
Just
do anything
controlled
else.
him. I mean,
yeah,
You have to give Masvidal credit.
Masvidal.
Yeah, Masvidal. 6 days, accepting that fight, turning around. I mean, it's just that's a style that you really have to prepare for. Like, he was going to have to prepare for Usman just sitting there and trying to just control it and not let him get any of those haymakers or like crazy stuff, flying knees to the face that he was going to try.
I mean, he could have ended up just like Connor and the Russian dude fight.
Khabib?
Yeah, like, he could have ended up just that way with plenty of preparation and still,
It's true. I don't know. It's just tough. There were certain parts of that last fight that were entertaining, but it was the most boring fight of them all. And it feels like he's going to be punished for that too. Like, I mean, Dana's going to not give him another.
Do you blame him?
No.
But I do think it's important to note that those guys who are champions right now, what did I tell you yesterday? Like 164-7?
7. They have 7 losses.
Wild.
I think it was like 140-7 or something like that.
148 or something.
Yeah. Which is just nuts. And one of them has 3 losses.
Yeah.
The heavyweight.
3 losses, 2 of them to the former champ, maybe just one of them to the former champ. And then another one was a DQ.
Yeah.
By Jones, yeah.
It's crazy.
Jones. All right, well, what else you got for us?
Well, we would be remiss if we did not at least mention the NBA bubble and all this news that's going on.
There was just too much for me to think of questions because all this stuff was happening. It's like, I can't even play a guessing game if all of it's just going to come out. Westbrook, COVID.
Yeah, so there have officially, since July 1, there have been 19 NBA players test positive for COVID. 2 of those have been inside the bubble, but they were inside quarantine. So they got in, they were quarantined, tested positive, quarantined, and have gone home to recover now. So
I think Westbrook's actually there.
no,
still.
he is at home. He never left.
Oh.
He never got to the bubble.
Gotcha.
So he's part of the 19 total.
Yeah.
There have been 322 tests and 2 were positive at the bubble. I don't know how many total tests the NBA's run since July 1, but they've had 19 positive. So it's starting to climb. And the takes that were coming off this morning, did you see Colin Cowherd? He came out and was saying, the Rockets got to be doing something analytical here. Keeping Westbrook back, it's got to be some kind of analytics, like they do better training at home, he can get this amount of rest, all this, blah, blah, blah. Going off about it. Goes like 3 topics down the line, and they're like, breaking, Russell Westbrook was tested positive for COVID. That's why he's not in the bubble. He's like, so I guess I was wrong about the analytics. That was manalytics right there. He just tried to force that one in.
What a great term.
Thank you.
Coin that. Right?
Yeah.
We got the free Woj drama as well.
Almost forgot about that shit. Yeah, so
Adrian Wojnarowski, if you're not familiar, is the guy who like tweets out NBA picks before they happen. And I figured out how that happens, by the way. So there's actually, it used to be like a email chain or a group thing, like an AIM, where all the owners and like the GMs were in there.
yeah.
And so before they actually go up and draft, they'll send who their pick is. Well, all it takes is one of those people to text Woj.
And that's what was happening every
And
time.
that's how he gets those
I
hot
knew
takes.
there had to be some kind of middleman in there that he just
Right.
had right there. And he is NBA news.
Without a doubt.
Woj. I mean, that he is the breaking news source for the NBA. Like, I mean, Shams is great and he does a lot of great stuff, but Woj has the hand on the pulse. Like, he is breaking news in the NBA. And if you didn't know, he told Missouri Senator Josh Hawley
Correct.
to fuck off. I mean, he said fuck you after Hawley was bringing up something about the NBA in China.
Asked why they wouldn't allow anti-China or pro-troop
Free Hong Kong
messages
yeah.
on. Here's my thing. Hawley, if somebody wants to say that, I don't really mind. There are Republican senators who that completely plays to their base, but we don't have a professional basketball
shouldn't have been
team
one from
here.
like Dallas or something.
Right.
Like, shouldn't it have been something where they have a team?
You have as much pull as the senator from Wyoming saying this. Like, it just doesn't make
He's
any
also
sense.
a first-term senator.
Correct, but he's been
And
in
he's trying to
politics a
make-
long time.
He has, but he's trying to make news.
Without
he's
a doubt.
trying to get his name out there and be recognizable.
He is insane. He asked Mark Zuckerberg, why wouldn't you just sell Facebook? He goes, well, if you have these problems, like, why don't you just give it to the government?
Josh Hawley likes to make a splash.
Sometimes he does.
Yeah. And then you have LeBron tweeting free Woj, which is just like,
Awesome.
he's sitting there, he's fucking poking the bear.
Yeah.
And he's just gonna have James on the back, which Kawhi actually a couple hours ago came out with a statement of like, we're here for business. Like, if you want to just put your last name on and go do it, go do that. He's like, if you want to sit here and promote something that's good, do that. But people are legitimately risking their lives to get there, which, I didn't even really think about it that way. But I mean, there's now 19 of those guys have, not necessarily volunteered, but gone forth and have now tested positive with COVID.
I think anybody who was at very serious, I forget what the term is, if you preconditions or whatever,
Yeah.
anybody who had that kind of stayed back. But I think everyone there, if they get it, it's not a huge concern for them. And I think that's part of the reason. But
And they're all wealthy and have the team healthcare and all these
Right.
things to take care of it. But still,
yeah, absolutely. I do want to say that with the jerseys, everybody that's like a star has pretty much came out and said that they're going to have their name on. So far, they haven't said anything except for Giannis, who's putting equality on the back
like
of
that.
his jersey.
which we said that before. We said that would be a great idea. And it's like, it's a great idea, but I'm not trying to force everyone to pick something.
Correct. And I bet that those jerseys sell pretty well.
Oh, yeah, the Giannis equality jersey.
Without a doubt. Especially if he gets MVP this year and ends up tearing it up in the bubble. Yeah, huge
Yeah.
things. But, we'll see if it... I think the bubble has some other issues because we've already seen, girls who have been like, I've just got invited to the bubble.
Yeah.
The NBA season isn't going to, last.
And today, with
Another one?
with the Postmates news.
What?
Have you heard this?
Uh-uh.
Rashad Holmes, the center for the Kings,
Yeah.
ordered Postmates, left the bubble, and then now has to do an 11-day quarantine.
Why 11?
Or maybe it's 14 and he's already served so many of them.
Yeah.
Just stepped outside to get his food and then went to turn back in and they're like, yeah, you can't come back in.
Huh.
What an idiot. But he was
Honestly.
also, somebody had told him, let me find the tweet real quick. Somebody tweeted out, a verified person tweeted out and was like, hey, if you guys don't like the food in there, you can always Postmates it. They'll deliver it right there and you can just step out and get it. That was on the 11th. That was 2 days ago. And it happened, I think it happened that same day on the 11th. And now he's served 2 days. Yeah. It was Tsunami Kelly. Oh, it's Kelly Oubre Jr.
Oh, nice.
He tweeted out, to all my NBA bros, Postmates delivers to the hotel. You just have to go out and meet the delivery person at the hotel entrance. Security will not hold the food for you or help you. Yeah, the food is whack, but we here for a bigger purpose. Hope this helps. Hashtag shh. In a statement today.
Hashtag shush.
Yeah. Hashtag shh. Keep it on a DL. Yeah. In a statement from Rashawn Holmes. He Yeah, after the initial quarantine period, he briefly and accidentally crossed the NBA campus line to pick up a food delivery. He's currently in quarantine and has 8 days left.
Jeez.
He apologized for his actions and is looking forward to rejoining his teammates.
I wonder why they singled out a Kings player. Seems typical.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just don't think they really care about the Kings. I think if it was like LeBron about to cross the line, they would have
They would have stopped him.
They would have jumped out.
Everybody
like,
would have made a
pushed him
barricade.
back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like if it was Zion. If Zion was like about to take a step, a bodyguard would lay on the floor so his foot stepped on him, and so he couldn't actually cross the line. Like, no, man, you got to go back.
I hope so. I hope that they have personal bodyguards for like the superstars. But
That's awesome.
It might ruin it, and it might ruin everything else. We might not get football. We might not. We'll see.
College football looks the least likely.
Shaky. Real shaky.
The least likely so far. I mean, fuck, we were watching soccer last night, and I've never been so disappointed in the city of Kansas City until watching Sporting KC last night.
I probably won't return.
Yeah, they lost me for good.
The one that we tuned into, they had an early lead. I don't know.
They scored a goal at 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Goalie got a fucking red card. Backup goalie gets in there and just gets slaughtered. Looked like Freddie Mercury at the end.
It was rough. It's real rough.
It's bad.
His mustache is good, though. The backup goalie, Sporting KC mustache. Whew.
Yeah. That's what I'm
Fantastic.
saying, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. I love how Washington, on the topic of football, was just like, are you happy now? We'll change it. I love how they announced that a change was coming, and then today the announcement came out that we're looking into it.
Yeah, and so there's a couple things. One, they announced it with the Washington Redskins
Logo, banner,
header. Like instead of just saying
you could have used an NFL template.
NFL front desk of Dan Snyder, like you could have done any of those things. Another thing, it's now come out that a real estate agent somebody in real estate
in Atlanta.
I thought it was in Virginia.
No, the guy's his home address is Georgia.
Okay, but the stadium's in Virginia, so he has to. I think he has them in the state of Virginia.
That might be where the trademark.
Yeah, where the trademarks are. He's trademarked basically every option for Washington Red Wolves, Washington Red Wings. So it looks like there was supposed to be an announcement today of the team name, but I think what they're going through is some legal troubles because they can't legally use all those names, which is so funny because they had to untrademark the Redskins, right?
Already?
Well, that happened in like 2016 when we are literally going through a 2016 news cycle right now where it's like everybody needs to sign Colin Kaepernick and the Washington Redskins need to change their name. It's like deja vu.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in 2016, because South Park made that episode.
Correct.
Because they could just use everything.
Because it was untrademarked.
It was untrademarked. And so everybody could just take it and use it.
Huh. I didn't know that.
So I think what it looks like is they're going to be the Washington Red Wolves. And it looks like it's going to be pretty sweet.
I'm not a huge fan of the Red Wolves, but whatever.
I mean,
Red Tails for me. That's where my vote is.
Red Tails would be cool. Flyovers would be dope.
Yeah.
If you were the Red Tails.
Absolutely. And that was the first African-American Air Force unit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would... he would win so many points. I don't get it. I don't get why you wouldn't drop the bag for it.
I don't know. Maybe it's trademarked.
That's true.
This is the problem. They're sitting here and they're like, well, fuck, we're just going to be like the Washington, like, toenails. Like, that's the only thing that they can find. You know what I mean?
And grown toenails, so they're red. They're
Like
just the big stuff.
Yeah, or like the Washington Goosebumps.
Washington teenage acne.
Backney.
Ugh. All right.
The wash your face.
Wash your face.
My favorite was the Onion fucking nailed it like they always do. They've been on a heater lately.
Correct.
And they said the Washington Redskins have officially changed their name to the DC Redskins.
What a bad one. Mina Kimes also nailed it with the Washington. What was her name?
Oh fuck.
The Washington Red Velvet Cakes.
Yeah.
And the logo was like, what was it split in half?
It was, I think.
Oh, just half the helmet.
Yeah,
that's
it
what
was
she
the
asked.
helmet.
Yeah.
And it was like everything is cake.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Hot. A hot one.
Yeah, hot in the streets.
You gonna
Cake
help?
meme.
You want to help the people out now? Or we got more sports?
No, I got a beef.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm fucking mad about this goddamn rash on my leg.
Doesn't look good.
It's looking worse consistently, and I've looked into it. I just need to schedule an appointment with a doctor. I found a doctor in town. It's the most annoying thing ever because it's not physically bugging me. It's not like poison ivy or anything. It doesn't itch. It doesn't like bother me or anything like that. It's just visible, so people can see it.
Visibly ugly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a visual pain in the ass. But it's not like poison ivy sucks because you're sitting there scratching all the time. You're constantly like irritated. It doesn't irritate me at all. It's just, you look.
Yeah, I don't really want to look.
It's bad. Bad deal.
I'm mad because I got publicly shamed today for doing something that I thought this was totally normal. My family has done this my entire life.
I think it's pretty normal.
Whenever I do a load of laundry, I always throw the laundry cup in there so it washes, we get all the stuff out of it. I was publicly shamed by my girlfriend for this, called it an evil villain.
She tarred and feathered you.
It was, I'm upset about it. I thought this was a total normal thing. Honestly, I didn't even know people didn't do it until today. I mean, I realized that some people like saved a little bit at the bottom, but like I thought it was much more normal.
I think it is.
But I figured out why. I figured out why it was a thing. So back in the day, when your washing machine didn't have a section for detergent, that's how it started.
Yeah.
And so one of the comments of her post was, my grandma does that. Like, my dad is the one who got me to do it, and he's older.
Well, my mom does it sometimes, but it's not like a consistent one way or the other.
I just don't think that it was that big of a deal.
I don't think it is
I
either.
shouldn't have gotten beef for this. I have beef because there's beef.
Yeah.
But I can help somebody out with my next thing. So this is actually an app or a website, depending. Traffic Cam, all one word, and traffic spelled Traffick. So what it is an app that whenever you travel and go to your hotel rooms, you take a picture of the hotel room and post it on this app. And the app actually helps cops stop human trafficking. And so a lot of like, hotels have these like regional paintings in the background, or, this Marriott in Texas bought all of the same, generic artwork for all of those. So that's how that ends up helping people out. But good idea. All it takes is taking a quick pic and you're good to go.
Takes a second out of your day.
Absolutely.
So my lifestyle tip is be like our new king, Johnny Depp. So if you guys didn't know, Johnny Depp is currently going through a nasty divorce. And him and his soon-to-be ex-wife are...
Amber.
I'm not 100% sure. I could pull it up real quick.
So I just know it's Amber something because one of the articles I read said he used to call her Amber Turd.
Well, so Amber Heard is her name.
Nice.
And there's been some like stories that have come out that she like one point in time she would shit in the bed and then tell the maid that the dog did it and have the maid clean it up. But now there's just been these pictures of Johnny Depp released that make him look honestly super cool and super relatable. So today it was a picture of him passed out on the couch with ice cream spilt all over him. So he was fucked up eating a pint of ice cream and fell asleep during it. And at the beginning of the week, or at the end of last week, it was his lunch, which consisted of a shot of whiskey, some tobacco, 4 lines of cocaine, a something Richardson CD. What the fuck was that? A Keith Richardson CD, and there was one other thing. Paraphernalia. Yeah. So, in other words, she shits the bed and makes the maid clean it up, and he has fucked up ice cream for dinner. He gets fucked up and has ice cream and falls asleep.
Which would you rather have?
Yeah. Like, I'll let you decide.
Oh, absolutely. It's a little bit of a different world out there for some people. So
sure.
My What the Feed this week is actually a website called EDCIT. So ExitRonellMinistries.com. And I don't know if you've seen this video, but we can post it. And I just want you to watch it and react to it before we talk about it here real quick.
Look, oral sex, Demo.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
Look. Let the sperm of that man out. Out, you Demo. Out. Let go.
You delivered me 2 Sundays back, then a demon came with his penis and put it in my mouth. and then...
So a woman goes to this church and they are trying to get this oral sex demon out. I think it's actually just a sex demon because later on,
It's a sex demon.
yeah,
That put its penis in her mouth.
initially, and then came back a week later and had sex with her. And the pastor like bonks her and she just starts screaming and like falling to the floor. And at one point like kicks her pretty fucking hard and is like spraying holy water on her private parts. And she goes, yeah, I went to the bathroom later and like a little bit of white came out and some blood. Lady.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the crazier side of religions that are really still out there today. It's a pay-to-play league where you're putting a lot of money up front and then you get the shit kicked out of you and told that you're healed.
Maybe she was.
I mean, it looked like she was fucking throwing up there. Or like sucking air dick. Like she was like giving head to the ghost and then spitting into a trash can.
I think that's what it said. That she was, I don't know. You just got to watch that
It
thing.
was too much. We'll tweet it out. My what the feed,
Yeah.
Jada and Will Smith.
Oh my God.
This is an ongoing, which one this dates back to like 15 or 16, 2015, 2016, somewhere around then, when I guess they were going through some really hardcore marriage problems where they ended up splitting up and, getting with other people. And it kind of became private or public now after August something or other. He's a musical artist,
Rapper,
something. I cannot remember what. Anyway.
skipped over the most important detail. Her son's friend.
Yeah.
That is why he was even like given this opportunity.
And he ended up getting in a entanglement
Yeah.
with Jada.
Something was tangled up.
An entanglement for quite some time.
Yeah. Well,
And-
now I think it's just whenever, because now they're in a like open relationship.
Yeah, but they're not together. August and she was like, she has this show called The Red Table, and she brought herself to the Red Table. I guess that's always the thing. It's like, this week we're bringing such and such to the Red Table. And so she announced, she's like, this week I'm bringing myself to the Red Table. But her and Will sat down and like went through all this stuff. And boy, if you watch the video, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a couple chunks of it. He is in pain.
Yeah. Looks like Pursuit of Happiness will.
Yeah, he is hurting bad.
I don't know, man.
But the rumors are that he fucked Margot Robbie. So then I don't feel 1 ounce of pain for him if that's...
Who came out on top?
He did.
Oh, without a doubt. But, I mean, initially that has to suck so much.
There's a lot going on. Because I guess she had a relationship with Tupac back in the day. And supposedly, that was her deepest connection of all time. Like they were like supposedly just friends, but she was like so heartbroken from his death. Distraught.
Were they dating at that point?
I don't know.
Huh.
Oh, Will and Jada?
Correct.
It was right around the time that they started dating just after Tupac's death.
Huh.
And that was right when he was filming Fresh Prince.
Right. Well, you got a Google this week?
I do. So, America's sweetheart, O.J. Simpson, has now received another batch of bad PR.
Shocker.
And some would say it's the worst of his career. This weekend, he was partying in Vegas for his birthday without a mask. And, I don't know if he'll recover from this one.
Worst of his career, huh?
Yeah. Some would say that maybe the mask didn't fit when he was about to start, so he couldn't wear it.
I mean, absolve him of all responsibility then.
Yeah. No mask.
To be fair, he might have rented out that whole thing. That's a possibility.
Think about the balls on the person who took this video at O.J. Simpson's birthday.
That's true. That's a real good point.
Like, because they're just like over in the corner. He's gonna find you. You think he doesn't have hitters? Like, this man, we will find you, and he will make you pay.
Man, speaking of hitters, I got my Google this, which is Russian bounties on U.S. soldiers, which is just wild. So apparently Russia has been arming Taliban members and essentially being like, yeah, we'll give you X amount of money for every American you kill. On top of that, the CIA was ordered by the president to hand over information to the Kremlin for free.
This is a lot to take in.
Yeah. That's why it's my Google this. I would just do Kremlin,
Do your own
CIA,
research.
Russian bounties. But on a lighter note, Sony has made personal air conditioners.
What?
I heard you just skyrocketed to attention.
Fucking perked up. If these things are affordable, I will have one for every room.
I don't know the price, but it's pocket, like you'll put it in like your front pocket.
Okay.
And it air conditions your whole body.
So you got to be stylish because you're wearing a frocket.
Yes.
And you're staying cool.
It might be a shirt where it's like put there.
Oh.
And you can't put anything else
like
in that front pocket.
I would kind of fuck with it if it was like an undershirt.
Oh, yeah.
Or I would kind of need it to be like a onesie type situation.
That wouldn't be terrible. I also think the
I'm gonna need to
hoodie
get down in
or the pullover,
the loins,
where you have that little pouch, fit real well there.
Yeah, I'll fucking wear a fanny pack around to have a personal AC.
Oh my God, yeah. I've been thinking about this, and obviously if somebody made this, it would be obsolete in 50 years. But for people who don't have the push to start ability, if you can make, besides just like putting something over the windows, if you can make that car cold when they step in, it's a game changer.
Yeah. So you're saying like a remote start. If you don't have a remote start, so you can't just like start your car from like
right
before you even go out there.
Something else that will like maybe crack your windows a bit, like exfoliate that air and then go into it.
I just need the AC to be instantly cold in the car.
If you could do that too. I mean, anything
like,
to
boom.
solve this problem, because it's an issue.
It's bad.
The back of my seat knows my sweat all too well.
And we go out, now that we've been going out and disc golfing and like kind of doing more outdoor activities, feeling it.
Absolutely.
The pounds haven't quite shaved off yet, but they're gonna.
Keep that attitude.
Yeah.
You got anything
Positive
else?
vibes only. That's all for me this week.
Yeah, me too. Maybe next week, if the NBA calms down, we can do our own bubble tournament.
Yeah. It's going to be tough, though. We might not make it. Like, there might be just already so many taken.
Who knows what'll happen next week with the way they're going?
I mean, James Harden is already bringing women in. 2.2 seconds of being there.
I mean, we talked about this already. That's family.
Yeah.
Well, figure it out next week. Tune in.
We'll figure it out. We always do.
Yep. Check us out. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Probably the Twitter and Instagram is where you're going to want to be, though.
Twitter's been popping off lately. You can find it all there. At SNKY Athletic. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. We love you. Sneaky.